Hi, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. Today we are going to be harvesting honey, and I'm going to show you all the different kinds of equipment that I use, how to use it, and yeah. So let's get started. We're going to start with one frame at a time. This is, I would say, 99% capped. You can see up here there's just a tiny bit that's uncapped. And this one, yeah, there's just a tiny bit right up here. But this is what it looks like. The tool that we have here is an uncapper. It's really simple to use. I have this baking dish here just to kind of keep my area clean. And I have a bowl here. That's where we'll be putting the wax. Once we're all done and the wax is in here, we'll fill this up with water and rinse off the wax, which we will render down another day. So you're just gonna wanna hold it in this direction. Try not to dig too deep. We just wanna take the very top layers of the wax off. We're trying not to completely destroy the integrity of this comb because we're going to give it back to the bees. They'll repair it and fill it back up. You can do this sideways like I'm doing. You can run it down like this. A lot of people do that. I don't because I'm just not that coordinated. And I find that I have a little bit more control over myself when I do it this way. And you can start from the bottom too if you want, or the top, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. Obviously the goal is to get all the caps off and leave all the honey inside. There you go, that's what it looks like uncapped. I'm just gonna take a closer look here and see if there's any that I left capped, because if you don't uncap it, the honey's not coming out. So I'm just scraping these little individual ones that I missed to get them all the way open. Okay, now we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, and this one is all done. And over here, I have a 2-frame manual extractor. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my other frame, get that uncapped and stick it in here, and then we'll move on to the next step. This extractor comes with lids to keep splashdown, keep debris out of your honey. We're just gonna go ahead and install those. And I'm gonna turn this around because I'm right-handed. Now that we have our 2 frames of uncapped honey in the manual extractor, we're going to just spin it. And this has a little safety, so you have to push that in. And that's all there is to it. Just keep spinning. This particular extractor would be really awesome if it was like anchored into some concrete, but I don't have that setup available to me. And so this can get a little unwieldy. I've got it on a hardwood floor in my kitchen, and it has kind of sharp metal feet on it. So I've got some pads underneath to protect the floor a little bit. But yeah, it wobbles around and it gets off balance and shakes, and so you kind of have to hold it down. And I just kind of tend to anchor myself here. And this is just going to take a while. I'm going to go ahead and spin this for a while, and then I'll show you the honey gate at the bottom, which is actually on my side. I've got a bucket, food safe bucket off to the side that has another honey gate on it. I will show you all of those things after I get this spun out. A thing to remember is with this type of a machine, once you get all the honey extracted from one side, you'll have to take the frames out and turn them around and then spin it again until all of the honey has been extracted. Once I get that done, I will see you back for the next step. I'll be right back. All right, well, this honey is all spun out. I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like once the honey is out. Obviously, the frames are a lot lighter now as well. And even though we obviously did some damage to it, the bees will be able to repair this and refill it with honey. So I'm going to just set these back in my bin, and we'll start dealing with the honey that's in here. Oh, and these are going to go right back onto the hives. When I took them out, I did replace them with some other frames, but they didn't have any drawn out comb on them. But it was just a place setter so they don't start building cross comb. But these will go back in their place as soon as we're done here. So the equipment we're using now is a food grade bucket with a honey gate on the bottom that will allow us to pour it out. This is the honey gate I was telling you before that was around on the other side. This is a double sieve. The top one will catch the larger particles of wax, and this fine one here will catch any, bee parts. We're just gonna set this under here and open the honey gate. All right, and as you can see, the honey is just going to very slowly flow out and through the filters here. And once it's all in the bucket, I will get back to you and show you what's next. This is going to take a little bit of time for it to just kind of drain down. It's a lot of honey is stuck on the sides, and I'll probably come through with a spatula and just kind of give it a little assistance to, get it down toward the bottom here. That's pretty much all there is to this step, so I'll see you guys back in a little bit. We are back. The honey is in the bucket. It is kind of lifted up here with a couple of books because there's really not that much in here. We just did those 2 frames. And we've got a couple of jars that have been sanitized and they are ready to put honey in. Over here, we have the bowl of wax mixed in with some water, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that after we check the moisture of the honey. This is a refractometer, and there's just a tiny bit of honey left in the extractor, so I'm just gonna go grab a little spoonful and put it on here. We're gonna see what the moisture content is of this particular honey. And this, oh, making a mess here. Okay, this is what it looks like. Yes, they have like little things you can use to, like droppers, but they don't work that good with honey. It just doesn't really suck it up. So you have to get the whole blue part here covered with the honey. We can just kind of slide off the extras and then just put that over and press it down. And there's still not very much honey left in the extractor, but yeah, that'll probably be a snack for me later. All right, then you're gonna look inside, and I can't really show that to you because it's not gonna show up. But I'm just gonna point this toward the light here. I don't know if I might try to take a picture of this. So this honey here is 16.5%. That's not bad. As long as it's below 20%, you're good to go. Quick note on cleaning your refractometer, just wipe it off. Do not submerge this in water. Just take a paper towel and just wipe it right off. Now that we know the moisture content, let's just go ahead and bottle some up. So I'm gonna put this below the honey gate. I'm gonna take the wing nut off. And open it up. And here it comes. Nice and clean honey. Most of the wax has been removed. That double sieve that I use does not take out the pollen or anything like that, but mostly it gets like little bee legs out and whatnot, which is nice. I mean, unless you like to eat bee legs. I've done it, really not a big deal. It wasn't from a live bee, I promise. And have your next jar ready. All right, this jar is full. We're gonna get the next one ready. Try not to lose any of it, and we're good. Get your lid on right away so it's not contaminated with anything, you know, in the environment. We've got that right there. It's very pretty color. Some people, so you can see that there's probably some air bubbles in there. Some people let them sit in their buckets for quite some time to let the air bubbles rise. I don't do that. I'm not running some kind of, you know, business operation over here. This is just for my own personal use, and I don't really care about the bubbles, but you do you. And at this point, so I do have a couple of books here holding the bucket up. If I put another book up here to hold it up, it's possible that this bucket's gonna slide off of my cutting board. So I'm gonna hold it myself and just go ahead and tip it down, get that flow going a little faster. Before it gets too close to the top, we'll set it back down. We don't want an overflow. And looks like I'm gonna need another jar, but not one this big. So I'm gonna just let that kind of trickle for a second while I get a small jar. I'm not sure. This one might be too small, but I'm gonna go for it. I love these cute jars. I eat a ton of pimentos. I love them. I put them into everything. And I save the jars because these are fun jar sizes to give to, you know, your family for holidays or gifts or whatever. So just a reminder again, I'm not selling these. If you were selling your honey, you would want to fill it up to the very, very top and weigh it and all of that. But I'm not, so I'm not gonna. So 2 frames, this is a big jar. So it's pretty nice. It's quite a decent amount of honey. All right, we're gonna get these little jars filled here. And anything that's left in the bottom of the bucket, I'll take out with a spoon. And we're just not gonna waste any of this whatsoever. I gotta find a lid for these. I know they're clean. Well, actually, I don't know that for sure. I hope they're clean. If not, plastic wrap will work in a pinch. This is still kind of dripping, so I'm just gonna wait until it swoops up. There we go. Put this down here. Okay, good. I think I might have some lids that fit here. Oh no! Oh no, I can't reach them. Ah! Maybe I don't have a lid. Okay. Well, they might be in there, but I think I am just gonna really fast so I don't move and disrupt my whole situation here. I'm just gonna cover them with whatever I can reach. And cling wrap it is. Then once I get this all put away, I'll get the real lids that go on here. So they'll only have cling wrap on for a minute. But this will keep any flies out. I don't think I have any flies in my house right now, but the one time I try to be all like, I don't have flies in my house, I'll get a fly in my honey. So I think I'll pass on that. And I'm just gonna peek in here. I don't think there's more in here than will fit in this jar, but since I'm not 100% sure, I'm just gonna grab another one. Hey! Backup spice jar to the rescue. And let me get a spatula too, to just kind of work out any okay, so my spatula here, and I'm just gonna get this honey gate open back up again. This one's about full. There's still a tiny bit of honey left in here, so I'll use my backup spice jar. The way I do this is not made for speed, obviously. There are other ways of harvesting honey, and if you had a big operation, this probably won't work for you. But if you just got a few hives, then this will be fine. Okay, I'll make sure I have this in the right spot. Don't catch any drips while I get this other one covered up. So I'm just using this spatula here to move the honey toward the honey gate. And we can get almost all of it out of here, and then you can grab a spoon and have a little snack if you want with like whatever tiny bit is left over. guys. I still have a little bit left. You know, the bees worked so hard to make this. I am not gonna waste any of it at all. I mean, if you're gonna steal somebody's food, the least you can do is eat it, right? All right, now that the bucket is empty, I'm gonna go grab lids for these guys, and we're gonna move over to a different station and start talking about cleanup. So it turns out I didn't have lids readily available for these, so I just transferred them into this jar here, which is a little messy, but it's just gotta be done, folks. So I'm gonna stick a lid on. I did have a lid for this one, and I'm just gonna wipe the jar off, and now we'll get to the cleaning. See you in a minute. Okay, this is how you clean out your extractor. You can do one of two things. You can just leave it out here and let the bees descend upon it, which they will, or you can do what I'm gonna do and just rinse it out with really cold water from the garden hose. There's like wax bits in here, and the cold water really helps to just rinse that out. You don't want to do this in your house, or you're gonna really mess up your plumbing. Now, as you can probably see, it is sunny, it is super hot, and the bees are going to find this like lickety split. So we are going to do this fast. You will notice if I either take a video or a picture, once we do this and get it all going, there will be bees like all over the grass. So we're gonna just do this as fast as we can. Set it on your high spray. And just knock as much of that wax off as you can. Okay, once the wax is all out, you can then just let the bees come and, you know, glean the rest out of the extractor, or you can just take a rag and wipe it out. If you really want to, you can also do like a little, like a soap, you know, like a little dish soap or something to wash it out all the way. That's entirely up to you. This method is the same that I'll be using for the double sieve. We'll bring the sieve out, we'll spray the wax out with the cold water, and then in the house we'll give it a rinse with some warm water and dish soap, and then we'll store it for next time. Whoops. Inside I can't see, I'm all wet now. Inside we already wiped down the refractometer, so we just used a very damp, like just lightly damp wet paper towel and just wiped it off. So remember, like I said before, don't submerge your refractometer in water, otherwise you will render it useless. And I think that's it as far as, you know, getting your equipment cleaned. Make sure you store it and keep it clean, that way when you go to use it next time, it's ready to go. Okay, now that I am thoroughly wet and all of our tools have been cleaned, it's time to deal with the wax that's been sitting in this water, you know, this whole time. So the honey has now kind of dissolved into the water, and this is how I kind of dry it and get it ready for rendering. So I just squeeze the water out, and then I just kind of break it back up again on top of a paper towel lined plate. Now remember, none of it Not even the residuals. Don't even wash your hands in your sink. None of this wax can go down your sink. If it does, you'll be sorry. Especially if you have septic. So I'm just gathering it all up, squeezing out the extra water, and putting it on the plate. Oh, and I'm getting a phone call. But my hands are dirty. Okay. Once you get your wax onto your plate, cover it up with more paper towel to dry the top end. And I like to put a plate on top of this. And I'm just gonna let this sit like maybe overnight or maybe for 2 days, kind of just depending on my schedule. And then I'm gonna put it in a jar where I just collect the wax cappings until I have like a big giant jar, and then I render it down to make wax for all different kinds of things. Yeah, so I gotta go back outside, wash my hands, but I just want to thank you for watching my video on how to harvest honey, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. I do respond to every single one, and I thank you for watching. If you have a YouTube channel that I can support, drop that in the comments as well. Okay, bye everybody.